The immersive nature of virtual reality horror. Virtual reality, VR, horror games are known for their unparalleled immersion, which significantly heightens the sense of fear and tension. Unlike traditional games, VR places players directly inside the game world, making every sound, shadow, and movement feel immediate and real. This heightened immersion intensifies the overall horror experience, making VR horror games more terrifying than ever. Enhanced sensory experience with VR. VR enhances the sensory experience of horror games through its 360-degree environment. Players are surrounded by the game's eerie visuals and sounds, creating a more immersive atmosphere. The ability to look around in all directions amplifies the fear of the unknown and makes players feel more vulnerable to the game's terrifying elements. Realistic interactions and physical presence. In VR horror games, players use motion controllers to interact with their surroundings, adding a layer of realism to their actions. This physical presence makes interactions with in-game objects and enemies more impactful. The feeling of physically reaching out or turning around to respond to threats increases the intensity of the horror experience. Psychological impact of VR horror. The psychological impact of VR horror games is significant. The sense of being physically present in a frightening environment can trigger intense emotional responses. Players may experience heightened anxiety and fear, as the boundaries between the game world and reality blur. This psychological effect is a key factor in the increased terror of VR horror games. The role of sound design in VR horror. Sound design plays a crucial role in VR horror games, contributing to the overall sense of dread. The spatial audio in VR enhances the feeling that sounds are coming from specific directions, increasing the realism and tension. Sudden noises or whispers behind the player can be particularly unsettling, enhancing the horror experience. Realistic movement and perspective challenges. VR horror games often challenge players with realistic movement and perspective issues. The sensation of moving through dark, confined spaces or navigating disorienting environments can induce fear and claustrophobia. These challenges add to the overall horror by creating a more authentic and nerve-wracking experience. Impact of unexpected events and jump scares. Unexpected events and jump scares are more effective in VR due to the immersive nature of the medium. The element of surprise is heightened as players are fully engaged in the game world. Sudden, frightening occurrences can lead to more intense reactions and a stronger emotional impact compared to traditional horror games. The evolution of VR horror technology. Advancements in VR technology have improved the quality of horror games. Enhanced graphics, more precise motion tracking, and better sensory feedback contribute to a more convincing and terrifying experience. These technological improvements continue to push the boundaries of what makes VR horror games so effectively frightening. Challenges and limitations of VR horror. Despite its strengths, VR horror faces challenges, such as motion sickness and hardware limitations. Some players may experience discomfort or nausea during extended play sessions. Developers must carefully design experiences to minimize these issues while maintaining the intense horror atmosphere that VR offers. Conclusion. The future of VR horror gaming. The combination of immersive environments, realistic interactions, and advanced sound design makes VR horror games more terrifying than ever. As technology continues to evolve, VR horror is likely to become even more intense and engaging. The future of VR horror gaming promises further advancements in immersion and realism, continuing to push the boundaries of fear and excitement.